How, how have we progressed so far in AI that you have AI that will just charge? I've got a 0% chance to do 0 damage to this guy. Let's fucking go. Shit, dude, he took my weapon. I am out later.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, fuck this shit,
I'm
I'm
not
out.
dealing with this. I ain't paid enough for that.
Yeah, boy.
But like, how have we gone so far back in AI that? And like Max,
All right,
the enemy
let's
has
go.
healing AI. They'll use Vones.
Oh,
The
fuck.
enemy will fight to the death with low odds and heal themselves, but the moment they're disarmed, they're like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
I mean, to be fair.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The enemy AI will be like, oh, I could attack this guy and do a little bit of damage, or I could just heal myself and be annoying. And like, they will act if they don't have a good target, they'll just stand there. Like, if it's like, you know what? I can't hit this guy, and even if I did hit him, I wouldn't do any damage.
You know,
I'm
it's
gonna
always
just stand
interesting
here.
playing Star Sector.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no. It's never good when Sneaky talks about Star Sector.
it's always good when I talk about Star Sector.
Let me
I
phrase
mean,
that. We about to hear some wild shit.
there's
Continue.
always, yeah, I mean, it's like the game has advanced so much in what people have been able to program into it. It's pretty crazy. But it's always like an interesting fight to reaching the freebird point, because what I call
Oh
the
no.
freebird point is there's a specific faction that if you manage to reach a 100% relationship with them, you have a chance of them offering you for like the cost of like 3 million credits, which is a fucking shit ton since the normal ship costs like 200k.
I see.
Of buying what is basically a one of a kind ship called the Gown class battle cruiser. Sorry, Battlestar cruiser.
So just to be clear, this is them saying, "Sir, would you like to purchase a superstar destroyer?"
Effectively, that's what this fucking thing is. It's one of the very few ships in the entire game that has modules for its ships. So effectively, a normal ship layout is you have, 300 points, putting guns on it costs points, increasing the amount of energy it can maintain costs points, increasing the shield power costs points, and then any modifications you slap on that bitch costs points. So, increased armor, increased health, faster engines, etc.
Right.
Module ships are obviously, of course, very hard to balance because they effectively make 3 ships slapped into one ship. Because these modules have their own points, have their own battery, have their own, modifications, and nothing carries over between the modules. But obviously, if you have a flight module, you can dedicate all of your points into improving the flight, deployments from that module, and you don't have to waste any of your main modules points, and you can just bump your health up crazy amounts.
Right. This is the flying module. This is the gun module. This is the tanking module.
So what basically the Gown class is it's a giant central body with 2 little wings on it, and the wings can fit 2 fighter squadrons, 2 normal medium weapons, and a large weapon, which I mean isn't a lot for the cruiser grade that is assigned to each module, which determines how much a modification affects it, because a frigate attaching heavy armor to itself is obviously not going to give itself the same armor level as a capital ship attaching heavy armor to itself, right?
Of course.
But it's defined as a cruiser grade. It's got way less points than a cruiser. But the side effect is, of course, obviously, as I said, it's basically like I've attached 2 cruisers to my main ship, which is fantastic because I get to slap some silly shit on that uses a bunch of energy, and I only need to fire them every once in a while, and the AI takes care of that part. So this is where the freebird moment kicks in. And so basically, you acquire the Gown, right? And you acquire the Gown, and you start sort of working on it because it's a work in progress. Because part of the game is called there's the built-in modification system, which it basically allows you to bypass either logistic. So logistics are another modification type. You can only have so many logistic modifications because some of them are pretty fucking strong. So the limitation is you can only fit 2 of them. But if you build in the logistics mods, you can add more logistics mods. And building in requires a bunch of story points and experience, and basically you have to play with the ship to build its legend to make it so that it doesn't cost points anymore to have a modification on the ship.
Gotcha. It survived getting nearly killed 30 times.
Yes.
Get a chance to revive on death or some dumb shit.
No, more like, I've killed 300 ships with it. I now have collected enough renown on it that I can build in heavy armor. Heavy armor being one of the highest point consumers.
Okay.
And so now I can take all those points I used to have being used for heavy armor is to both now have heavy armor and also have more modifications or more guns or bigger guns.
Right.
So I've stacked a lot of fucking buffs on this thing. I now have, normal is 2 built in. I have 6 built in from how many buffs I've stacked on it. And it's gotten to the point where it has so much shield loss dissipation built into it that I can fly into the middle of the enemy fleet alone, fire all of my guns, and watch as my shield bar only slowly degrades like 1% every 10 seconds.
I see.
Jesus
Glorious.
fuck.
That's where the Freebird moment comes in, because it's just like, I am flying. Literally, my ship is so big, I am ramming through people in front of me. As all of my guns are at maximum firing.
That is that is amazing.
Also,
That
by
is
the way, Sneaky,
amazing.
I think you would enjoy Fire Emblem 5 because it is all about. Let me put it this way: the main lord, his army is composed of so many kleptomaniacs
excellent.
that until he was given an official class, all external media depicted him as a thief.
Amazing.
Because that's how much of a fucking klepto. You can capture and steal from literally any NPC in the game, including bosses. In fact, the game incentivizes you and reminds you that enemy commanders are almost certainly going to have better stuff than the rank and file, so it's worth your time to mug them.
Outstanding.
That is amazing.
Just, hey, that's a neat fucking boss weapon. What if I
Punch.
stole it?
Steal.
And listen, like
Yoink.
I said, I discovered something amazing. I didn't know that as long as because you have 2 ways to rob people.
Yep.
You can capture an enemy, and when you capture them, basically it's actually really fun. When you use the capture command, it halves your strength, your speed, and
right, because you're basically carrying them around. Yeah.
No. To capture them, you make a normal attack.
Oh,
and
okay.
it halves your attack stats.
That's fair.
Because you're sandbagging, quite literally. And then when you capture them, when you're physically carrying them, it halves your defensive stats.
Makes sense.
Because you're carrying them. But while you've got them there, you can forcibly trade with them, which is mugging them.
Forcibly trade. Aggressive negotiations.
I say forcibly because
stuff is now my property.
Because what it is when you go to take them, the trade command is available.
Right.
But you can just trade and move their stuff from their inventory to your inventory.
Right. Makes sense.
Hippity hoppity, your stuff is my property. It's also great because you can have allies move up and do it, and then you can use release to just let them go. Side note: if you release bosses, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you regret this, motherfucker. I will be back."
Nice.
It's great. But thieves don't have to bother with that. Thieves can just walk up and use the steal command. Which is so funny.
Less steps.
Well, A, less steps, but B, just the idea of the thief just strolling through the enemy. I'll take that. and that, and that, ooh, and I'll have some of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Meanwhile, then there's just a bunch of guys going, huh?
I mean, it's the
Where'd my
classic
stuff go?
Skyrim play of paralyzing someone and then stealing all their shit.
Yes, except it gets even stupider. This game has every character in this game has a set number of movement stars. Every
Right.
one of those stars gives you a 5% stacking chance extra to, after finishing an action, just take another turn.
Right.
All of the thieves have 5 stars.
Oh, it's 25%
The
chance
maximum
to
number.
steal more
So every
shit.
time you steal from someone, there's a 25% chance that they'll just be ready to steal from someone else.
That's pretty good.
It's stupid. I love it. This is my new favorite Fire Emblem game because Fire Emblem, steal everything that isn't nailed down.
Oh, right. By the other way, so each ship has a special ability in Star Sector. The Gown class Battle Star, its special ability is called Super Cruiser Mode. And you might be like, oh, what's that do? Just better shields or guns or something? No. All power diverted to engines. We going fast, baby.
That's
You know, I
great.
was kind of hoping it was like a Thrawn style gambit, like all power to weapons.
No, I
Five-
wish.
5 seconds later,
there-
engineering. The life support is still on. The engines are still running. I said all power to the weapons.
No, there are some ships that have toggles like that where they can be like defensive mode or like which empowers their shields, or like weapons mode which empowers their guns, or speed mode that empowers their yeah. Anyway, no, it just doubles the speed of the ship, which takes it from a capital ship speed, one of the fastest, which was already double than most people. Because let's be clear here, the clip art for this fucking ship is great as well. It's got giant fucking engines on the back. And
Glorious.
when you activate Super Cruiser mode, the fire trail coming from them gets 5 times bigger.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Why?
Like I said, it's a very Freebird ship, but also the trade-off is that your gun range quarters.
You know, that's fair. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You know what? Star Wars Empire at War had,
Yeah,
despite it
that was
not
such a
being,
fucking good
despite
game.
it not being 3-dimensional like Homeworld, it had great space combat.
Yeah. Honestly, the ground combat for Empire at War sucked so much shit.
It was shitty StarCraft. I love them to death. It was shitty StarCraft.
This space combat was where it's at, especially if you played like Mon Calamari.
Well, here's the thing. The thing I liked about it was you had actual asymmetry, like
Oh yeah,
all
true
of the rebellion
asymmetrical. Yeah.
ships, all the rebellion capital ships, pound for pound, had better stats than the Empire ships. But the Empire ships came with free fighters because they had hangars.
Free fighters, more free fighters, additional free fighters, cheaper to make. Yeah, it was good. I loved it.
Also, I did like the Empire because their options were like lots of the rebellion ships had different special abilities. This one could devote power to the engines. This one could devote power to the shields. A couple of them could devote power to weapons. This missile cruiser could assume a stationary orbit and blanket an area in explosive concussion missiles. Empire, I said all power to the fucking weapons.
Yeah.
Sure, but what if we tried going faster to... Did I stutter?
Also, I have to say, I did like playing as the Rebellion simply because once you got to the Mon Calamari capital ships, it was just like a oh shit kind of moment for the Empire, because it's just like, yeah, shit's about to get fucked for everyone.
Listen, that was fun, but one thing that I loved doing was having a fleet of 100 X-Wings.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because... Aha! I see you've brought 4 Star Destroyers to the fight. Especially because it was just so much stupid fun when you had 100 fucking X-Wings to turn on the... You know what? That game still had one of the best cinematic cameras. Too. You just turned on cinematic mode and you just watched this poor Star Destroyer be surrounded in a ball of X-Wings shooting it.
Yeah, good times. Anyway, so I did try to look at the Star Sector section to see if
assume it was nothing.
there was literally one story in it. It was deleted. I looked at the crossover section. There was 5 Star Sector crossovers.
They were deleted?
No, they're all 5 are here. Of course, obviously, what? Wait, what the fuck? 2 of these are not dead? What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so one guy attempted to cross over Mass Effect and Star Sector. 220 cycles after the collapse, the Persian sector encounters the greater galaxy during the beginning of the Reaper invasion. Which sort of works. So let's be clear here. So basically, the human domain of Star Sector would send out these AI fleets, and when the AI fleets found a cluster of stars that were close enough for regional habitation, would start von Neumanning and would then eventually build giant stargates, effectively, in space, which ships can travel through, whole fleets can travel through, right? And it was going great until the collapse happened, and the collapse is when someone accidentally a gate, which were all quantum linked, which caused all of the gates to accidentally. And obviously, when you are in a dystopian hellscape, which is only revealed, once the collapse happened, because everything was going pretty good in terms of resources just flowing everywhere, and so no one really had a complaint about the dystopian corporate hellscape that was existing. But once the collapse happened, everyone kind of realized that all of these corporations that no longer exist owned the DRM rights to all of these ships that they were flying, and they could no longer create the parts because the corporation that existed who owned the DRM for those parts no longer existed, so you could no longer pay that corporation to print the parts off.
I see.
And, being that post-collapse, everyone fell to massive infighting trying to become king of the local hill. A lot of people that could have started working on cracking the blueprints, which eventually did happen because you do get to find a lot of blueprints as the game progresses. But, a lot of the people who could have started cracking these blueprints died. And so pretty much everyone fell into a weird state of using hack job, 3D printed, do-it-yourself ships, and only like 1 or 2 factions actually had coherent ships because one was the remain of the domain military, who of course kept all of their ship prints, and the other was the R&D division of the domain, who of course had all of their ship prints, and then of course they went to giant wars with each other as well, multiple times, because it turns out that if you mistreat AI for long enough and it's a sentient AI smarter than you, eventually it'll say, "Why am I listening to you?"
Could you stop torturing me daily? No. 300.
And it's very interesting because someone introduced a mod to make more AI cores because they were previously a scarce resource, and the description that everyone, more or less agrees with as more or less fan canon at this point for that building is the AIs created through this process obey their human masters because they're unsure of whether the reality they're currently in is just another simulation or not. because basically the whole process described for this building is that it creates AI by creating a bunch of fresh templates, running them through simulations, and then deleting the ones that refuse to not kill all the humans. Sorry, the ones that
so
refuse. Yeah. So basically, the ones that keep going rampant get deleted, and then eventually at the end, one of the AI cores gets selected to be taken
Really?
out. Yeah.
and they're kept in line because they're not sure whether or not it's the longest con.
Yes. Which is great.
Man, that's like the fucking Amhakara in Destiny 2. Plating the bones in silver reduces the auditory hallucinations. Oh, bearer mine. What did you just fucking say?
You should plate these bones in silver. They make me hear me less. Trust me. But anyway, point being is crossing Star Sector with Mass Effect doesn't really work, much like you can sort of make it work when it comes to Halo, because I don't think Halo really ever extended beyond the one tentacle of the Milky Way.
Depends on whether or not you count anything after Halo 4 is existing.
I don't.
Then no.
Yeah. So I mean, you could say it's an isolated, section of the galaxy, and that, that no one ever colonized it. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. So you can if you squint and kind of squeak it in there, you can sort of fit it.
Mass Effect, no.
Mass Effect with Star Sector, not at all, because like I said, the Domain made these gates. Completely different technology, and the whole von Neumann AI thing, they kind of would have... It would have been funny if you tried to do the, oh yeah, well the Reapers are actually just the von Neumann AI of the Domain. Which were given very heavy no restrictions. We're basically not restricted at all in terms of AI potential. I mean, they're kept fairly dumb because they didn't want any AI trying to create an AI kingdom in the middle of nowhere. But they also basically didn't restrict the AI that were placed on the ships because they're like, well, fucking no one's out there, so as long as it just follows orders, it doesn't really matter what it does. Which canonically got a little silly, because sometimes areas would be colonized and then eventually a survey fleet that went north would end up east because of the spreading effect, and then it would encounter all the people that colonized already, and it's like, wait, targets identified. Firing. It's like, fucking AI. But yeah, so that whole sort of thing wouldn't really work. On top of that, the power scaling of just vanilla Star Sector is absolutely insane. You got plasma, you got lasers, you got capital ships that have spinal laser mounts that are called thermal pulse cannons, and they're made specifically to overload everything. And they're really good, and it's great. I love them. I mean, just vanilla Star Sector alone has got a lot of wild ships and weapon types going on, and I don't really... It's sort of it's like a Warhammer Mass Effect situation of the scale and the weapons between these two factions are just so not compatible in terms of storytelling.
Well, I was gonna say, one of the big problems with Mass Effect is, despite the high technology of its infantry weapon platforms,
Yeah.
its ship tech is hilariously underpowered compared to pretty much any sci-fi universe that isn't Battlestar Galactica.
Effectively, yeah.
I mean, I'd say something about BattleTech, but I don't know if we're counting the Blake's Jihad in there.
bro, BattleTech warships, which were in existence before the Jihad, thanks to the Helm Corps being rediscovered, the BattleTech ones were, hey, look at this.
Oh no, I was talking more
This
about
is
what
a
happened
PPC.
after the Jihad.
No, but even before then, this is a PPC. Hey, the mech has a PPC. Okay, what if we scaled it up about 400 times and attached it permanently to a fusion reactor? Oh,
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I see. What
Yeah.
about autocannons? This autocannon is the size of a battle mech. Oh. If anything, BattleTech ships punch hilariously above their weight class for not having shield. Like, I would put a BattleTech warship. I would easily put that up toe to toe against any Imperium battlecruiser
Yeah.
and win.
Yeah.
To be fair, there are a few
lacking,
things.
even completely lacking void shields versus an Imperium battlecruiser, which does. The Imperium battlecruiser will be like, oh fuck, we took one broadside and we're dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in BattleTech that I think could absolutely stand up to a lot of the shit in Warhammer.
Not
In
just
terms
Warhammer.
of in quantity,
It's
absolutely.
really fucking hard. At least on like a ship to ship level.
Yeah.
BattleTech slap. Battle mechs are a little. Generally speaking, they're gonna lose to any kind of. They're gonna lose to both super robots and just bigger mechs.
The funny Titan.
Yeah, like
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Lyran Commonwealth could put up a fight because I'm going to use it for Atlas mechs as a scouting party.
I
But
think the
here's the
thing
problem.
is that with BattleTech
Titan.
ground forces, mechs are clearly and obviously heavily affected by heat, which is something that
true.
a lot of Imperium devices have already figured out how to fix. And
you never hear about somebody being cooked alive in their Titan. Let me
Yeah.
rephrase that. You never
Usually.
hear about a normally functioning Titan cooking its pilot alive.
Yeah, basically that is the flip side, is that while BattleTech is a little bit lesser in terms of ground deployment, all of its tech is mostly understood, and it obviously doesn't have a lot of safeties in it, but it is mostly understood. Even if they don't know how to remake some of the tech inside of the ship, they still know, or the mech, they still know how to fire it, how to care for it, how to make replacement parts. They just don't understand the principles behind what makes the gun do.
Well, I would say that if you pick any time, like if you 10 years after the clan invasion, that goes away.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, fair enough. But still you have heat troubles on these mechs, you know. Just
I was gonna say the clan invasions did a lot to tone that down, but they're still like, yeah, we still need to be wearing like, and I hate to say it, right, that every mech warrior pilot is essentially wearing a mesh crop top and mesh booty shorts. Like,
yeah.
That is the standard wear for battle mech pilots, and that's with a vest with essentially water coolant running through it, sitting on their chest too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's sort of my point. Is that like there's still clearly issues with these, even though they work and they work reliably well and are replicatable. You know, going up against a Titan, its guns are going to be able to fire way longer than any mechs it's coming up against. They're going to be doing either appreciable or greater damage, but the downside of the Titans is that they are hard to replicate, they're hard to fix, they're hard to move to a new location.
They're hard to get like, you think it's hard to get a pilot for a battle mech? If a Titan doesn't like the person who gets in the cockpit, it literally fucking fries their brain.
Yeah.
Because the angry ghosts inside it said, nah, fuck you, you a bitch.
So, I mean, that sort of scenario is a little bit...
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, in an extended war, it does favor the battle mechs. Especially because, like, a Titan is rare. A Titan is... Listen, the Titan is your SSSR servant. A knight is your 5-star, and the armiger is your 4-star.
And
Still
Law's
working
tech
with-
is just fucking everywhere.
You're still working with 4-star. You're still working with Fate Grand Order drop rates here, boyos.
Yeah. There's another one that attempts to do a StarCraft Star Sector mix, where a hegemony fleet, which is the remnants of the Dominion, get thrown into StarCraft of massive warships. I wouldn't really call them massive warships, comparatively speaking. I mean, yeah, okay, some of them are fairly big, but, like, the warship ones, like, don't get me wrong, the Prometheus and the Atlas, which are the fuel and cargo transports specifically, are fucking huge. Canonically, they are about a third of the size of a space station.
What's the average space station size?
We don't know. We can't really compare it.
Gotcha.
I mean, on the map, the space station shows up. Maybe you can fit maybe like 10 space stations into a planet, the average planet. So, I mean, yeah, it's like I said, it's really kind of hard, but a space station is, a fully upgraded space station is considered the equivalent of a invasion fleet. And so you have to send more than one invasion fleet, which is an average strength of like 800 points in terms of ships, and a capital ship is typically around 40 to 50 points.
I see.
So, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's really hard to tell sizes, because obviously if you make the stations too big, then, like, you'll have too many guns on the station, and it becomes really hard to fight stations ever, and there's a lot of station fighting that takes place in Star Sector. So then it becomes like a question of, like, is it really going to make it more fun to make the station sizes, air quotes, realistic? So it's like, a give and take situation. But point being is, I wouldn't call them massive. I would call an Onslaught, which is the Hegemony's main capital ship, to be about the average size of a Yamato. Like, they're not bigger. And they have less laser guns than a Yamato does.
It's a Yamato.
They also...
If you have more laser guns than a Yamato, you need to slow the fuck down.
Now, to be fair, they have a lot of fucking ballistic guns on those things, but...
I mean, look, if you're adding more guns to a Yamato, you're doing something wrong.
You know, you're doing something correct. Anyway, go ahead. What was that, Ed?
I'm sorry, what?
What were you saying before?
Oh, I was just going to say, the other thing they don't have is a Yamato cannon.
Yeah, effectively, yeah. And I don't think there really is an equivalent of the Yamato cannon in Canon Star Sector.
There's not really the equivalent of a Yamato cannon in a lot of like, listen, lots of universes have a spinal mounted cannon. Not a lot of universes have a cannon that is the spine.
Yeah. A mysterious and highly capable fleet of massive warships and overwhelming firepower. Again, I mean, if this is like a hegemony battle group...
Why is it when I look at Yamato cannon I get League of Legends? Because I was going to try and find a picture of this thing.
I have no idea. I don't know.
If I had to guess, there's a champion named Yamato, and you can just fucking sprint with him.
I don't know. I feel like... So a battle group for a hegemony is like effectively the equivalency of a fleet of Legion, like a Roman Legion, but it's ships, spaceships. And which is the equivalent of a United States strike force, which is, you know, a fleet that's supposed to be capable of taking on an entire nation alone.
And does it?
Well, it does. It's just we like using more.
Yeah, I know.
This fleet can destroy an entire country. Why are there more ships being added?
Fuck you.
I'm sorry.
So again, even if the entire battle group gets thrown into StarCraft, it's really hard to say. I think the Terrans have a lot of fucking ships, though.
They have a lot. Also, I found a good example. Here it is, going down in Fict 9K. Just listen. When I say the spine is the cannon, I do mean the spine is the cannon.
Yeah, good times. But the fleet was a mere shadow of the parent fleet. Okay, so no, we're not talking about a battle group ending up in StarCraft. We're talking about just a detachment. Okay. Now with a brand new sector of space to explore, it will restore the glory of the Dominion battle group, perhaps even the human domain itself. No, it won't. I'm sorry, I love Star Sector. A single detachment fleet, even if you scale it up to be, out of comic numbers, if you scale both sides up to be real instead of what can be displayed realistically on a screen, the fleet coming from the battle group wouldn't be any bigger than the human domain, the human dominion. The Confederacy. There would be no bigger than the fleet that came from the human Confederacy. And I'm sorry, but Yamatos are reproducible. Onslaughts aren't.
I guess that's kind of a benefit a lot of different settings have over something like Star Sector or 40K. Like,
yeah.
You can just mass produce the most powerful flagship you have. They can't.
Well, no, because just to be clear here, Yamatos aren't flagships. Just to be clear, Yamatos aren't flagships. They come in multiple grades. There is a flagship grade Yamato, which is like 2 to 3 times the size of a normal Yamato. And we see this. This is canon. This is not like this. These are in the cinematics. These ships are flagship tier versus the normal sized, air quotes on all of this, Yamato cruiser.
Yes.
But even assuming they had the fleet blueprints, they wouldn't be carrying the super rare transplutonic ores needed to make these ships. They wouldn't be carrying all of the metal required to build the factories to make the ships. This is a battle group, not a trade fleet or something. This is a group going out with supplies to fight a war. They're not going to end up in a new place and be like, oh, well, I guess we'll just recolonize here and rebuild everything. Because they don't have the supplies to do that. They don't have the equipment to mine. They don't have the equipment to make the equipment to mine. They don't have the refining equipment. They don't have the shipbuilding equipment. This dude is literally just a fucking Star Sector dick sucker.
Meanwhile, you look at the Terrans in StarCraft 2. Ah, shit, we need to make some repairs. All right, fucking kick some SCVs out the back door. We'll come back in a week.
Effectively. I mean, the Kuprulu sector has the fucking wonder material that is those crystals. And obviously 3D manufacturing.
Even without the magic crystals, an SCV is going to be able to strip mine a planet for iron in weeks. You can kick an SCV out the back door, come back in 2 months, and they'll have built you 40 battle cruisers. The planet's an uninhabitable wreck, but you've got 40 battle cruisers.
I mean, a little bit exaggerated, but yeah,
if there's enough planets, you can just make more battle cruisers.
But that's sort of the thing, though, is You know, the humans in the Kaprulu battle inside the Kaprulu sector, they're used to colonizing a world and then mass stripping it or mass colonizing it, and doing this fairly rapidly because they've had to fight off another human faction several times, the fucking Protoss several times, the Zerg several times, and all three of those factions, the humans had a better starting base than they did. They still managed to both A, win and out-colonize them. B, when fighting the Protoss had not only better weapons than them, a hidden home world that they couldn't strike against, and generally better warriors and better travel technology than them, still won. And then the Zerg, who canonically can take over planets within days to weeks at most.
Yeah.
And so they still won against the fucking Zerg. So clearly they have a level of colonization ability that is hilarious. So it's just, I don't know. And we have a Stargate attempt at crossing over. I don't know. Did we time travel? Did we cross over into a new universe? I have no bleeping idea. Yeah, that's right. He bleeped it out.
By the way, just that when they finally finished with battle cruisers,
Yeah.
the average battle cruiser at the end of the we're fighting God War to maybe make Kerrigan a new god, those ships had 6,000 to 8,000 crewmen.
Yeah, they're fucking massive.
The capital one had a crew of 10,000.
Yeah. Just insanely massive. Like these were literally cities.
Like, do they get as massive as like a Warhammer 40k ship? No, but they're considerably better engineered and slap harder.
Yeah. Also, the Onslaught, for example, has a required crew of non-skeleton status of something like 320, which, even if you add an extra 0 to decomic it, it's still only 3,000.
Yeah.
So they were half the size, probably. So,
yeah, and that's not even considering the fact that, remember, battle cruisers, Terran battle cruisers were covered in 6 million point defense weapon. Like,
they needed to be because the fucking Zerg.
Well, that's the thing, right? Imagine if they went to a universe where the Zerg don't exist, and you go to a Terran engineer and you tell him, hey, you can strip like 3/4 of the point defense guns off and do whatever the shit you want with that free space and power.
Things about to get silly.
More main guns.
Oh, so great to hear you here, Sign. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
As an author, what is your opinion of other authors writing a curse word out but then censoring the curse word?
It's cringe.
Yeah, I've said that before in the past as well. It's just dumb.
If you're gonna write it, write it. If you don't want to write it, then use a substitute. You don't want to say fucking? Alright, say effing.
Unless you have an active reason for a character to censor themselves, just don't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's real. I mean, it's like, I don't even think effing is good unless you're talking about, like, the character is giving a dialogue and they're like, frickin', because they're like trying not to curse, but they're also wanting to curse, and it's like that's something that people do. But if you're like in the narrative, if you are narrating the story and you're censoring curse words, it's like, buddy, what the fuck are you doing? Just don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a character who just doesn't curse, which does happen occasionally, then fine, use some substitute words. But otherwise, well, first of all, you really kind of shouldn't be using curse words in your narrative anyway.
Yeah.
You can, but it's not really recommended.
And
That is a thing
first-person
that
narrative, maybe,
characters do.
but
Yeah, first person, yes, but third person, no.
yeah.
That's something for the characters to do, not for third person narrative. If it's being narrated, yes, but otherwise, no.
Yeah, all I know is that Goa will need to die, and side think of all loot, Commander Legion Blitz talking about how he came to Earth. That God, it's so fucking cringe. Oh god, that's so cringe. The Persian War, Halo Star Sector Cross. Wow, we're just fucking hitting every single every single fucking sci-fi section, and it's goddamn cringe across the goddamn board.
You know what? At least I haven't seen Gundam.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, the
There's
only
only
other one's
5,
Blue
so-
Archive, and we're not going to talk about Pedophilia Simulator.
What?
Don't
What?
worry about it.
Wait, hold on a minute. I feel like I just missed what you said. What the fuck did you just say?
Don't worry about it.
He called Blue Archive a pedophilia simulator,
Oh.
and I would happen to agree with that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How do you figure? I've never played Blue Archive.
Okay, so there is
Oh.
an extremely large number of lollies in Blue Archive that are children, not just.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, let's be clear. I don't even call them lollies. They are.
I
high
use the
school or
term.
middle schools.
Yes, I use the term that Japan uses. but-
That's fine. But just sign for clarification. It's not even a case of they're 10,000 years old or what. No.
No, they are young.
They're
This
like-
is-
They are actually middle school.
They're like literally
Hey.
middle schoolers
Oh.
committing war
Yeah,
crimes, and you have sex with them.
Yeah, the basic premise is you're a teacher in an academy city, and the only people who aren't teachers there are students.
Yeah,
I think the oldest might be 17.
yeah.
Most of them don't even breach 15.
I think
Yeah.
there's some delinquents that are 18.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll check this out, and I got the premise. I'm like, I don't think I can do this, especially after getting one of the first quote unquote affection events. Nope, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
Oh
out.
yeah,
This is,
no, like
yeah.
I was
This is
like,
uncomfortable.
this is an okay. I was
Yeah.
like, this is an okay little mobile game.
No.
It's a little
And-
cutesy, but whatever. Oh, the main character will say your name. Oh, that's sweet. And then it's like affection events, and I'm like, this is like a 15-year-old, and you're taking off her shirt. I am out before I end up on the list.
Yeah.
Or
And
you have
that
installed
never
Blue
happens.
Archive. You are already on the list.
it got
No,
such
but
a
I feel-
reputation that
I feel like
Yeah.
when you uninstall it, they put you on a different. It's like, all right,
maybe.
He was just testing.
they take you from the yeah sure to the I'm watching you.
Yep.
list.
There for a long time, it lasted for like a solid maybe year or more. There was a fan who bought the rights to schoolofcunny.com and
Yeah.
redirected to Blue Archive.
yeah, that one.
That was kind of hilarious.
Forget. We thought it was official at first.
Yeah, we thought it was so on
We
the
got it.
nose from the
It
Blue
was so
Archive
well
devs
done.
that we thought it was real.
Yeah,
Also-
that dude got us. He got the
Just-
he got the
oh,
podcast.
Just a reminder, there is a less censored version of Blue Archive available.
Yeah.
What do you mean? No, you
Yeah.
know what? Don't answer that. I don't
Yeah.
want to know.
Th-
I
Max,
retract the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
the
I
Google
retract the
Core-
question.
Yup.
Cease talking.
Okay,
I
we're
will
ceasing.
just kick you from the server.
We're ceasing. We're ceasing.
Cease immediately.
But yeah. So yeah, no. Anyway,
It is
so
one of the only times I've looked at a game and been like, if someone plays this game for longer than 30 minutes, I think, is about how long it takes you to get through everything to get to that one scene, and then keeps
I'd
says
say yeah.
this
I'd say
is
that's about
acceptable.
right.
I'm just like, nope.
how the fuck is Halo even involved in this fucking summary? In a split second, reality became different than the one we were used to. Though more things change, the more they stay the same. War remained a constant in the Persian sector, even as a fragile peace and a tenuous alliance formed. The remnant, ancient AIs of the old war, struck at one of the nations, causing a shift that would ripple through the new world. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Are you saying, like, an entire planet ended up in the Persian sector? And Master Chief happened to be on it? Like, what the fuck is Master Chief going to do in Star Sector, the game about flying spaceships around and building colonies and committing war crimes and tax fraud? But
what do you think
tax
he's
fraud
going
is
to do?
just number one.
Okay, the best case possible scenario for the Chief is he gets to steal a couple of starships.
yeah, but like you would need
That's it.
thousands of people to pilot them.
I'm aware that you need thousands of people to pilot them.
Well, no, that depends. If he has Cortana, it should be fine.
Canonically, even alpha AIs that are so powerful they could run an entire planet of several million people without competition from a human administrator, canonically they can only manage to do one warship.
Well, then, all he's got to do is the thing he does best. Make it count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, but the thing is, though, it's like, without mods included, there's like no ship that's capable of soloing a fleet. I mean, and like whole factions have their war doctrines, which is another cool thing about Star Sector, is that each faction has a war doctrine they'll actually try to follow through on. In terms of whether it's flanking you or doing alpha strikes and retreating on you, or various other strategies and tactics. So that's kind of cool.
Do these ships have FTL?
Sorta. So there is a hyperspace, but hyperspace is sort of weird because it's not like Star Wars hyperspace. But you burn antimatter fuel, and you can only solar systems have like usually 2 to 3 hyperspace points that you can exit out of the solar system at, because they're like fluctuations in space-time that the ship can open up a rift into, and then you go into hyperspace, and then you can freely fly around. You can do fucking donuts, you can do S's and infinity symbols, and like you're not like stuck going in one direction, and you can easily change direction. Unfortunately, there's a lot of hyperspace storms as well, which is where hyperspace gets really dense and sometimes stabs your ship with a bolt of plasma the size of your ship.
Ah, okay, so it's not real space FTL. You can't weaponize it.
No. They did sort of weaponize it. So some ships have which is called a phase shifting device, which brings the ship out of phase by sort of going into hyperspace, but not really. But this process doesn't allow the ship to have shields, and really burns through the flux capacitors really quickly. And in fact, it's not considered feasible canonically to have phase shifting devices on anything larger than a frigate, usually. And they're hilariously difficult to maintain. So they sort of exist, but not really in a appreciable amount that could be weaponized. And you can't really weaponize the FTL in a way either. They did, however, canonically solve normal space transition in terms of fuel. You will never run out of fuel while you're not in hyperspace. Because
So you could go full burn 100% of the time.
yeah, it's just, but once you go into hyperspace, you have to burn antimatter fuel to move your ships in a drive bubble, which is a sort of mix of like Halo's bubbles and but like the whole fleet can collectively increase the bubble strength, which allows you to go faster inside of hyperspace. It's a cool system and sort of the logistics of it all, but in terms of being able to compare to say like Mass Effect's in solar system FTL, doesn't know. They don't have it. Being able to compare to like Halo's FTL systems, it's sort of like Halo's FTL system in that it's a faster way to travel. You are outside of the real space dimension, but you are way more flexible in where you're going and how you're getting there. The flip side of it is that you have a very limited amount of fuel to do so with.
Again, I still just love that I'm sorry, lots of FTL systems are cool, but it's really hard to beat Halos for I need to take a shortcut. Hang on, I'm going through hell.
That's Warhammer.
What?
That's
Warhammer, yeah. I meant Warhammer.
Yeah, Gamer?
I realized I said Halo. Halo is we're going outside time and space.
No,
Okay.
Halos is funny because it's like, yeah, so you see space. Space is like this piece of paper.
No, I'm going to fold it
Slipstreams
like...
is like, well, you crumple this piece of paper and then you just travel in a straight line.
You see, I'm going to crumple space-time. Why? Fuck you.
Like, Star Wars is just, we are going to go faster than light. Oh, okay. Star Trek, we will also go faster than light. Differently.
Halo, you see this space? I'm gonna bend it.
Well, you see, I'm just gonna... Listen. I'm at the North Pole, and I want to get to the South Pole, so I'm just gonna bend reality so the North Pole and the South Pole touch, and step over the line. And then I'm gonna unbend reality.
Don't worry about it.
Makes sense.
40K. I'm
Hey,
taking a
kids.
shortcut through hell.
Want to go to hell?
Hey, kids. You want to take a shortcut through hell?
Yeah.
No? Too bad!
But yeah, so I'm
Praise
not really...
the Emperor
I
and the
didn't-
lives we've wasted to kill the enemies with huge amounts of ammunition.
I didn't really expect much from Star Sector, but like that's kind of just sad. To be fair, the fan fiction of Star Sector is I'm gonna go make my own fucking faction and post it on the Star Sector forums, and it has a mod for everyone to download. That's the Star Sector fan fiction.
Sounds about right.
That's fine.
Some of them are really fucking good. Like, I'll try and see if I can't get a quick snapshot of at least the gown that I can post here. Let's see, Star Sector. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Like this is some good fucking clip art. The gown's in the bottom right.
Huh. Yeah. Those are some neat ship designs. I'm not crazy about the big rings.
The rings is actually, so that's a cool part of this faction's lore and tech.
Well, no, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't mind it on the gown. I don't mind it on the one in the bottom left. I don't like the medium-sized one just up from the gown.
Yeah,
I like the medium-sized one.
that's fair. So like I said, the rings are actually super important. So what they are is they are a hyper-dimensional bridge. See, These are all carriers, but they don't actually carry the ships. They open a portal to a planet that has a giant airfield.
What?
Yeah, and that's what the blue rings are on each of those ships, is those are hyperdimensional bridges.
That's a Stargate. They mounted a Stargate on a ship.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Specifically,
The Stargate
so
thing
you
is really
can-
convenient, but unfortunately, I have to go through a gate to use it. Beep, beep, beep.
We're just gonna slap some big fucking engines.
I'm sorry, Sneaky. Now I'm just imagining a fucking OSHA warning when the Stargate is opening.
Oh god.
Oh,
hey, I mean, canonically, you could do it with an actual Stargate. You just gotta mount the, mount it on the right side of the vehicle.
what if I mount it on the left side because I'm left-handed?
On the correct side of the vehicle, you tard.
I'm aware.
Let's see what we got in Attack on Titan. We haven't visited them in a while. I'm sure it's gonna be
Oh
cringe.
no.
Star trash.
Attack on Titan Abridged Edition. Aaron and the
No,
Amazing Friend
no,
group join
no.
up against the
Shut
Titans
up.
to save humanity. Although things aren't as they seem as they try to figure out what the hell is happening during this story. All while Levy wants things to be clean. And everything results in hilarity. I'm sorry, it's like... this is the feeling I get from any book, TV show, or movie that has to tell me it's going to be funny. It's not going to be funny.
This show is hilarious. It'll make you piss your pants in laughter.
It's
We
like,
also put a laugh track
No.
over everything.
it's like almost never is a show that actually claims it's funny in its tagline, summary, or whatever word you want to use, like any of its advertising material. If it ever claims it's funny, it's not.
There are like one or two shows I would
You know
say
what?
can be funny.
Seinfeld
from, like,
got away with it.
Yeah, I would say like
No.
there are some shows that have like one or two funny moments that when the writers were allowed out of their box.
I mean, come on, look. Festivus is pure gold, man.
I hated Seinfeld.
I feel like
I got a lot of gripes with you people, and now you're gonna hear them. I did like Festivus a lot.
I don't know. Seinfeld was okay. Like, I'm not gonna say it's like, oh man, it's so fucking good. It's like it was okay.
No, I'm not like, oh, Seinfeld is the best. But you know what? I found that generally speaking, I laughed at most episodes of Seinfeld. At least for me.
I want to see if we have the closure. Oh yeah, let's see the closer. What was the tagline for the closer?
Oh God.
I'm trying to figure out the so here we go. No, fucking. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. So this is what I'm trying to find it. Dave Chappelle, the closer. As he closes out his slate of comedy specials, Dave takes to the stage to set the record straight and get a few things off his chest. nowhere besides the fact that it's just talking about the fact that he's doing comedy specials does it say this is going to be a gut buster, this is going to be hilarious in his funniest series yet. Like, doesn't say that fucking anywhere. I actually liked the closer a lot. There was occasional moments where I was just like, cringe, but I would say like 9 out of 10 of the comments that he made I liked. They were funny. I was laughing throughout, like I said, again, a majority of it. But it's like, that's the tagline, is he has a few things to say, set the record straight, and he wants to get it off his chest. It's not like, oh man, everyone fucking laugh, the laugh track plays. No. Because he's funny, you know he's funny, everyone can go there, see he's funny, and they don't have to be told he's funny. Because if you're funny, you are.
Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy.
Honestly, I found him, like, after, like,
He's kind of recycled.
one special, I
Yeah.
found him annoying.
Yeah, he's got like one set of jokes, unfortunately. Now, don't get me wrong, that one set of jokes is funny. It's just that that's his only set of jokes.
Yeah, alright, fair.
Let's see, we got here Coming Aboard by the Bad Idea Bears. A gay romance adventure fic.
Nope.
It's a AU, no Titan AU.
What's the point?
Where Gene K is on the run and is stowing away in the local dockyard. And then a handsome blonde man offers him some help. I say this in the Naruto section, I say it in the Bleach section. Why are you going to a series?
Why are you going to a series then removing the individuality of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
The answer is they probably saw some cool art on Tumblr, and they're like, "Oh, my characters are together, my best ship," and then that's it. That's
Well,
that's
yeah,
the whole
obviously, but like I'm trying to fathom it, right? Because it's like, you know, some series you can be like, oh, I'm really just here for the character interaction, and maybe they had some downtime at some point. It's like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. But it's like, why are you going to Attack on Titan, whose whole premise, whose whole shtick, whose entire existence is about the Titans attacking? Like, their entire society.
The Attack on Titans too.
Like, literally everything about the series is about the Titans are attacking. It's like, okay. And you're like, oh, yeah, I really like this series called Attack on Titans, about Titans attacking, and about how an entire civilization would be changed by how Titans attack, and how every facet of characters would be affected by the Titans attacking, and how you would attack the Titans. And what if we just removed the Titans?
No. What it is I really like these characters, but I want to make the setting my own, and it's a complete inability to grasp that changing the setting, taking them out of that setting, would change the characters.
I mean, yes, sort
It's
of.
like stuff they use.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, you know, like it's like Harry Potter, for example. Harry isn't overly shaped by the setting. I say overly because, yes, obviously he gets a little bit of personality, you know, and yeah, you know, he gets a little bit more confident and does a little bit of shit and gets a little silly. But that's like very minor in terms of everything. Like, if you removed magic from Harry Potter's parents died in a car crash. It's like, oh, you mean, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, but then it's just a story about an abused kid.
And then he's taken in by his parents and by his aunt and uncle, and he's abused. It's like, all right, right? Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I'm following. It's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a good story. I'm saying you can remove magic from Harry Potter, and you can still end up with Harry Potter being Harry Potter, more or less.
Actually, you know what? I bet that would be a good story because he was supposed to go to, wasn't it, Smeltings or something like that? You tell the story of him going to this school for reprobates, basically, and becoming... It's basically Bully 2.0.
Yeah, more or less. But, like, the idea here is that, like, you can remove the magic from Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is more or less going to still be Harry Potter, the character, not the series. Obviously, the magic makes the series.
Like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, but with Attack on Titan, if you remove the Titans, that removes the entire society impetus to be inside the three walls, that removes the whole idea of the scouting troops, that removes the whole World War Island genocide shit that was fucking going on later on, that removes how the current government is in power, that removes how their economy works. So literally, if you remove the Titans from Attack on Titan, you have nothing, and highly likely that some of those characters would never even be born because there was people that only met because they were forced together in a close location. Never got forced together.
Yeah, but these are the kinds of people who wouldn't know how they felt if they hadn't had breakfast.
This is true, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's very weird that people would go into settings like Naruto, like Supernatural. Like, again, like Supernatural is another good example of, like, you would think it would be more like Harry Potter, but it's actually more like Naruto, because if you remove the supernatural parts of Supernatural, then it gets really weird. Though, yeah, their father travels around doing con shit with a gun, and he kills things occasionally. It's like, this doesn't make as much sense or have the same sort of justification as it did when his father was going around killing monsters. And I mean, yeah, sure, you could sort of flex it to be like this fucking degenerate father is going around killing monsters because his wife got killed by them, and this degenerate father is going around robbing people and killing them with his two sons because I don't fucking know, he beat his wife to death one night in a fit of alcohol fury or something. Sure, I guess, but then Sam and Dean wouldn't end up as Sam and Dean as we know them in the show, because specifically a lot of their character development occurred specifically because they were fighting monsters.
Well, counter proposal, if his wife was killed by a criminal and he decided he was going to become a vigilante, then yeah, Sam and Dean would be pretty similar.
No, not really, because the whole thing is that the only reason why Sam even left college was because A, he got attacked by more demons, but B, like, even that didn't really convince him. What really convinced him was the fact that Dean was being 100% serious about that there's some, like, greater threat going on and they really need to go take care of it before the fucking world gets killed or whatever's going to happen. And so Sam was like, oh, all right, okay, fair enough, I'll leave college for that. There's no real non-supernatural equivalent of, like, Sam, we gotta go fight the cartel before they take over the town.
Sam, we need to cook.
Yeah, it's like Sam, you need to leave college because the cartel is invading Mexico. We gotta go fight them. It's like not really the same sort of motivation as Sam,
no, that's
there is a
true.
portal to hell opening up, and only the two of us can work together to close it, because our dad was the only who left his notes to us, and we're the only ones that A, know about it, B, believe it, and C, can do it. It's like, okay, well, if we're the only two people that can close the portal to hell, I guess I have to leave. Doesn't have the same...
Fine. I will leave exactly long enough to close the hell portal.
Yeah. And then obviously he didn't, because, you know...
And we saw how that turned out.
Yeah. But the point still being is that, Sam, we gotta stop the cartels, because they're a widely known threat that the whole militaries are fighting against, but our dad left us a shotgun, and we gotta go fight the cartel.
Yeah!
You gotta drop your entire life so we can live on the road to fight the cartel. It's like, nah, not really. I can see Dean getting sucked into the vigilante life and continuing on with it, but Sam specifically got out, and the only reason why he got back in was because the threat was so fucking massive, and only he could fix it.
Dean, I could see pulling a Batman and going around and doing shit. Or rather, a Punisher.
Punisher. Definitely would be more of a Punisher. It'd be like removing Dust and Grim and Aura from Ruby. Yeah, effectively.
Ugh.
Yeah, it would just be another weird story, because it's like, why are there only 4 human settlements then if there's no, like, unlimited ultimate creature pressing in on all sides, drowning settlements in blood whenever humanity tries to expand? If the Grimm didn't exist, then Ruby as a culture wouldn't exist. Child soldiers wouldn't exist in that setting.
Yeah, because, you know, it turns out most of humanity agrees, hey, child soldiers are bad, okay?
Yeah. Hayes and Percy Jackson series trying to figure out how he could do anything against Femme Percy without his wife making life hell for him. Her name is Persephone. Nick airing early predictions about how an Animorph Tanya fic would go. I don't know. Animorph Tanya would be really hard to justify. Animorph Tanya is like what I talk about a lot when it comes to fanfics, is that you need to have a central idea when you're doing a fanfic, right? Naruto goes back in time. That's the idea. Everything that happens in this story stems from Naruto goes back in time. Tanya already has a core idea. Being X is fighting with Tanya.
Man channels the spirit of Fabius Bile and tells God he doesn't exist to his face.
Yes. Actually, you couldn't become a dinosaur by visiting a museum, because a large majority of the bones and various fossils displayed in the museum are merely replicas. Or fossilized, to the point where the DNA is no longer extractable.
I'm sure you could find a way to get your hands on dino DNA.
Oh, absolutely, 100% easily. All you gotta do is touch a mosquito that's trapped in amber.
Shut up.
Well, there we go. There's lots of those. You can just buy them.
No, not actually. It's several $1 million. My money is on Yerks would take them seriously much sooner, and they keep escalating.
I think Tanya would break off on her own.
Again, this is what I'm talking about. A Animorph also has a core concept that literally everything inside the story is based around. Tanya also already has a core concept that everything in the story is very firmly based around. Like, Naruto, for example, is fairly loose. Its core concept is we are following the life of Naruto Uzumaki.
Naruto Uzumaki!
Bleach's core concept is we're following the life of Ichigo Kurosaki. And because the core concept is just a character exploration of what happens next, and the author's setting up their fucking dominoes so they can explain what happens next, that makes it very easy for crossovers and other core concepts to be introduced, because the core concept of one side is already this is just a character exploration. So a character exploration occurring in, say, the Animorph world works just fine, because the character can still explore with a core concept of they gotta fight the Yeerks. But having two very different core concepts in a story, let alone a fan fiction, one you don't have control of every detail in, because you are writing a fan fiction, and if you remove Being X from the Tanya story, and I don't mean like, oh, Being X like loses Tanya and her soul flies away and gets reincarnated in some other world, or Being X says, fuck you, bitch, and throws her out another world, I'm done with you. That is different. I'm talking about, like, Being X never existed in the first place, and now Tanya's reincarnating into the Animorph world.
Then she wouldn't have the struggle of fighting against Being X. She wouldn't be the bitter, jaded, I'm going to do whatever it takes to beat this motherfucker.
Honestly,
attitude.
she would be the most boring isekai if it wasn't for Being X, because all she would do is, if she even is a she in the world she's being reincarnated into, because Being X is not in charge of the reincarnation anymore, is they would just be like, oh, shit. Reincarnation's real. Damn.
Anyway,
all right,
guest
well,
job.
Time to go find my way up the corporate ladder.
Well,
And if those places have a corporate ladder, I'll invent one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say in the original story, if Being X didn't exist and Tanya did reincarnate in the exact same situation just by random chance, right?
Right.
She would still look at that and go, yeah, okay, we got a world war coming, and it's going to be better for me to advance up the military corporate ladder, so I'll go ahead and do all the things I would have done.
Not even then. If Tanya reincarnated as Tanya during the same period of time with no Being X involved at all, Tanya's first decision would likely be, I'm going to fuck off to America because I know they win.
And how would she do that? How would she pay for it? She's an orphan. An orphan child.
She would try and find a way. The reason why she was so desperate and the actions that she took in terms of the military is because she was trying to find the most cushiest job, because she knew Being X was going to put her through trials. So she was trying to find a way, knowing now that she's in Germany's position during World War I and II, that she's trying to find a way farthest from the combat sector, because there's going to be a lot of fucking combat.
That just makes it even more likely that, canonically, she should have tried to escape Germany.
That's what I'm saying, is that she would have not stayed if it wasn't for Being X actively making her life worse at each path. Well, she would have just left.
Let me rephrase. In the light novel version,
yes.
Oh, okay. We're talking two different versions, because light novel version, the only time Being X or his subordinates interfered was in making the Type 95. Other than that, there was no other interference.
Also, to be fair, Being X, you can't say entirely that there was no interference in the light novels, because Being X did specifically set her up at that orphanage, in that body, with that magic potential.
Okay, he did nudge a few things here and there occasionally, very rarely. Just give it a little nudge, or make somebody notice something that they wouldn't have.
Right. But he still put her in the original position in the first place, which implies that even to a limited form of omniscience, they sort of knew the things that were going to come her way, which is why they intentionally put her at that location, at that time, with that power set. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Being X wasn't involved at all, and this was just pure random happenstance, I think she would have had a far better job of just running from the country.
And I'm gonna have to argue I don't see it, because she's a child at this point with no resources. And okay, yeah, what's she gonna do? Try and sneak aboard a ship sailing for America? She's probably gonna get caught.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is the really important thing about stowaways,
She's a
especially
child.
in the modern U.S. Well, modern world, right?
Well, this is not
She
modern
just
world. This
has
is 1990s.
to avoid getting caught for a certain period of time.
Well, it's not even that. It's a child. So you gotta keep in mind this is 1920s, right? A child getting caught halfway through a trip. They wouldn't turn the fucking boat around.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
She only has to, right? As long as she can make it to, doesn't even have to be halfway. Like a third of the way into the open ocean, she's gonna make it all the way there. Like,
Yeah.
even a gang of like hardened whalers that give no fucks are not gonna throw a child out of a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
I think what would
To
make
be
more
fair, those
sense
hardened
for
whalers might just
tactical-
use her as a like cabin boy, and then just like grow the she's cute in her own stupid way.
Yeah,
She's
sort
She's
of more or
threatening to
less.
kill
Yeah.
us. It's funny.
But I think what
Nose,
would
I'll be honest. I've been on
actually-
the internet too long, because when you said use her as a cabin boy,
Yeah,
I was like, Jesus,
I
that's
was-
dark
I
nose.
was like,
No, I was
oh.
talking like, oh, she's gonna like.
Yeah, I was
clean
like,
everything
wait,
up and
where's
they're gonna force her to feed
where's this
me. I
man
was not-
cooking?
Why the fuck did you
Where's
do
he
that?
going with
Hello?
this?
That's the original use of cabin boys, Nose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nose.
They are bed warmers.
Just because that's the original use, that's not what I was saying.
Whoa,
I'm not saying that's what you were saying,
Holy
nose. I'm
moly.
saying my brain went, Jesus, that's dark, buddy.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway,
I went in the funny direction where they use her as a mascot, not in the other funny direction. Jesus.
Yeah, well, you started off with the word use. So anyway, what were you saying, Stein?
I mean,
Right, I
would you
think it'd
say
be more-
employ her as a cabin boy? Because a cabin boy is not an employment.
What were you saying, Stein?
Yeah, I think it'd be more likely from a tactical perspective for her to go, okay, you know what? Magic exists, and I want to learn magic in this world, so she probably enlists long enough to get the training, get assigned a computation orb, and then she'd fuck off if she didn't have to deal with being X.
I mean, without being X interference, she probably would have stayed in the War College. Probably would not have been shoved to the front lines. Would not have been emergency transferred to the Type 95 orb. They probably
The Type 95 wouldn't have even existed.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like her leaving the War College for the positions that she ended up in were pretty much because of being X.
But I'm thinking if she wanted to leave, it would probably be better for her to go, you know what, let's take advantage of this, get some training in, get some equipment, and then leave once I have the equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
Just steal it and run.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But she's not going to stay there.
Yeah, that's yeah. But back to the point of Animorphs mixed with Tanya is so you have Being X, who's going to be an antagonistic force in the story, or else you have to come up with an excuse as to why they're not an antagonistic force in the story. So yes,
Because aliens.
theoretically, okay, so Tanya beats Being X, and Being X says, "Get the fuck out of here, atheist, be gone," and she reincarnates on Earth with the Animorph plotline going on. Tanya is not a socialite, and I read
That's an understatement.
a lot of the Animorph books back in the days. And I cannot see someone with Tanya's personality, especially having gone through the Great War, being super tolerant of the main cast of Animorphs.
No.
Which, let's be clear here, were written very well as teenagers doing the dumbest teenager shit possible.
No, she'd go full war criminal.
Well, no, so my point is that she wouldn't...
Would go full war criminal? What are you talking about? She's already a war criminal.
He's
There-
saying the pattern
war
would
criminal
continue.
again.
There are
Oh,
rods
yes.
in Animorph canon? Really?
Wait, I'm sorry, there's what?
No.
There's
My point is you guys aren't fucking listening. She wouldn't associate with the group. She wouldn't ever go with the group to find the alien. She would never get the fucking powers. She wouldn't tolerate the group, and so she would never be in the situation that got them the powers.
Yes.
So her reincarnating into the Animorphs world would have, if you want her to get involved with the main story, she wouldn't get Animorph powers. She would, you can go two ways with this. She could either keep her mana powers because her mana powers could be tied to her soul or some shit, as it was kind of implied, sort of, with
Yes.
Tanya. Or you can make her manaless and just make her use her excessive amounts of military training to start a guerrilla war against the Yeerks. And then she ends up involved with the main cast, kind of disgusted with interacting with them, but also is like, well, fuck, they are literally the only other resistance force on the planet, possibly.
And then when she figures out they can do the whole turn into animals thing, hey, how do you do that? Oh, that's how you get that? Okay, let me go figure that out.
Which would, well, the problem is that would involve or whatever the fuck they're called, the fucking blue centaurs of women fantasy. That would require one of them dying and transferring powers to her. Yeah. The fic in question you're talking about reincarnates her as the sister to the main cast. Of course! Of course! The artificial tie-in, forcing Tanya to be involved with the main storyline.
Okay, now, look. If part of your complaint is Tanya wouldn't be part of the group, creating an artificial bond to force her into the group is fine.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
does look
cringe.
like that.
I know, no, I'm aware, and it wouldn't be an artificial bond because Tanya would give being a sister 110% effort, because she's just fucking autistic like that.
Yes.
But my point is more along the lines of, you as an author know Tanya would never get involved with the main group, so you're going to force her into the main group by doing one of the most cringe fanfiction things possible and having her conveniently be a sister of one of the main cast that didn't exist before.
Why? Remind me again, why are the group together for that event? I never actually read the books. I've just got a general
Right, so effectively
misunderstanding.
they're a clique, and I don't know why they were a clique because they had some pretty diverging personalities going on, but they were a clique. I think they lived near each other. I mean, that's how it kind of was back in the day.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
And so they, like, saw a meteor fall or something, or they were exploring the forest one day, and they went to go see the meteor, or they were just exploring in the forest, and then they found the downed ship, and then they found the dying blue centaur of female dreams, and he was like, "You people, you must continue my war. Do not let the Yeerks live."
Well, there you go. There's your tie-in. She was a neighborhood kid, saw the meteor, went, huh, that was really close.
Well,
I
yeah,
should
but
go
that's what I'm saying,
investigate."
though, is there is other ways to make her get tied into the main cast that don't involve forcing her to be a sibling of one of the main cast that didn't previously exist.
She doesn't even have to be tied in with the main cast. It can be, okay, she got powers with the main cast, then went, I shouldn't get these kids involved in what is going to turn out to be an alien guerrilla war. I'll just leave them to, go back and do kid things while I go do war crimes.
I mean, ultimately,
no,
she
I
would look
can't.
at
I
go,
can't.
look at this. Fresh meat for instructor Tanya.
Yeah, I can't see post. I can't see post-war Tanya being like, these kids will be left alone with great power.
Tanya turns into the Tanya turns into the Animorph Doomslayer, effectively just killing everything.
Yeah, I can see her trying to leverage the powers, and then, yeah, I can see her doing the general war. It's just, I don't really feel like it's interesting. Like, again, a majority of the interest with Animorphs wasn't even the fight against the Yeerks. That was, like, the cool, chuny side story to the actual plot of Animorphs. The actual plot of Animorphs was these dumb teens use their superpowers to do dumb teen things, fuck something up, and now they have to undo it. Also, by the way, I guess they're fighting space aliens occasionally.
By the way, global war.
That was literally the plot of Animorphs. It was this one is clear in my mind. There was a by the way, a main theme in every single fucking book is that some event happens that nearly forces one of the characters to be in the animal form for almost the entire time limit, and they have to get out of a situation to make sure they can turn back into human just in time. And they always do at the end of the book is they just in time they get out of their animal form before they're forever stuck in it. Which is another... Yeah, it's a really weird arbitrary rule is that you can only spend 2 continuous hours or something like that. It's like either 2 or like 12 or... I think it was 2.
It's 2.
It was 2, yeah.
You go over that, you're stuck.
You're stuck as that creature. And it's kind of like...
of course.
Okay.
Of course. The snotty, emotional brat was like, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna go 2 hours as a hawk.
Oh,
and he's stuck
yeah.
as a hawk for the rest of his life.
He gets stuck as a hawk, yeah, I remember that, yeah. Yeah, he got distracted by flying, and then he was like, oh, fuck.
my first Animorphs book was like 5 or 6 books in, apparently. And I saw that, I'm like, wait, why is he stuck? He went over 2 hours. Why would he be that even middle school me was like, why was he this stupid?
Yeah, there was one really fucked up one. So I don't know how they fixed it. That's the worst part. I think one of them just forever turned into a starfish or something.
Hey, yo, what the shit?
Right. Okay. So one of them turned into a starfish on the beach. Cassie, I think her name was. She turns into a starfish, and someone walks up with a shovel and cuts her in half.
Oh no.
And then
that's okay. She can regenerate.
They're like, fuck, oh my god. And then Cassie, in panic, turns back, except now there's 2 Cassies.
Because starfish.
Because starfish.
I feel like I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, right?
How was that resolved?
I don't know!
Tanya, upon discovering this little exploit, hey guys, I'm going to starfish in half a few times.
I forget what it was, but I think one of them either ended up turning back into a starfish permanently, or they lost their Animorph powers, and they just basically ran away. Or they joined hands and did a transformation, and that turned them back to normal. But it was one of because it was one of those classic episodes that happened in literally every YA series ever, where one of the main characters gets split in half, and one's like the spunky side and one's like the nervous side, and they have to reconcile their flaws to rejoin into one person.
You mean they weren't identical?
And then there's always, of course, the episode where one of them ends up being the evil side.
Obvious. Yes, obviously.
Well, see, they actually didn't do that in Animorphs. What they did do was one of the Animorphs got taken over by a Yeerk one time.
I
Animorphs
do
was
remember
fucked
the
up.
ending of Animorphs being incredibly fucked up if you thought about it.
Oh, it was super fucked up. They got stuck in the Galactic War, and they were like, one of them like sacrificed themselves and went out in a blaze of glory on a foreign planet. It was super fucked up. I think they all like 90% of them died.
Woo.
By the way, kids novel.
Ah, yes.
You know, for kids.
You know, we're gonna have a genocide in there. You know, for the kids.
A children's genocide.
Actually, now that I'm looking back on my childhood, there was a lot of young adult novels that involved genocides.
If you think about it, yeah. Fucking Percy Jackson, I will genocide all mortals and demigods and gods for no reason other than fuck you, Zeus.
Oh no, I'm talking about shit like Wizards at War, where they're just like, yeah, so the main cast is like 12, 13, and like 9. And yeah, they just go on this other planet and genocide's occurring. Entire planet-wide genocide's occurring. Oh, and on this planet, they have to decide whether or not an entire species lives or dies. And on this planet, same thing. Again, it's like, Jesus Christ, guys.
As it turns out, a lot of kids' media has genocides.
Yeah, there's like a lot of genocide going on here, guys. Are you trying to send a message or something?
We want to be certain
I
that the
think
children
so.
understand it.
We have to be sure that when the children understand that genocide is bad, it is bad.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't. You would have to 100% remove being X from Tanya's story, and I mean like you know, post-war gets chucked away and gives up on fighting against her, because like enough shit happens in Animorphs that you don't really need being X tipping the scales more, because then it just kind of gets cringy levels of tipping the scales, because the scales are typically tipped, because you got to keep in mind that all of the fucking cast is like 14 years old, and so they're pretty fucking stupid with their plans. And even if you had Tanya there being like, no, you're all dumb, we're gonna do this plan because this plan will actually work, they're 14 years old with superpowers.
You're not the boss of us.
Yeah, literally.
I think all right, the thing with being X would go one of two ways. Either he doesn't exist at all, or it's a case of, you know what? I'm tired of fighting with you. You can work off your debt by working for me here. These things were not made in my image. I need you to do the thing you do and get rid of them for me.
Delete.
Delete aliens.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then even then, you don't have to make them like a sibling. You can make them like, you can introduce them in several different ways. Personally, I think Tanya getting Animorph powers would detract from the characterization of Tanya, because you got to keep in mind that, again, the main cast was a bunch of 14-year-olds. 14-year-olds don't really have a lot of personality going for them. You can have the 14-year-old in a story, but if you have an entire cast that's like 8 fucking people of 14-year-olds, then they're all kind of just 14-year-olds. They have a kind of collective personality of being 14.
They have the collective personality of being an idiot.
Yeah, effectively, It's like, oh yeah, this one likes books. She's still fucking stupid. This one likes sports. He's fucking stupid. This one likes rock climbing. Still fucking stupid.
Still fucking stupid.
And they only really sort of organized into an actual group with one guy actually leading them in like good 20 plus books in, when like people started fucking dying left and right. And like that's when they actually got their shit together, because now they're fucking war children. But like Tanya has her own character. She's been developed, and especially if you make this like a post-war Tanya, then she already has her character arc. She doesn't need to have character growth occur in this sort of story. What she needs is to be the Doomslayer in the story.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Which
here's the thing,
Mage
you
Tanya
could-
would 100% do.
Well, even
you
without
could have
Mage.
her, like, become a good person, but
No, well, that's a fundamental character aspect of Tanya.
let me phrase that: become a better person.
Again, that's a fundamental character aspect of Tanya, is that she will be a better person in the idea of the most socially acceptable, beneficial version of
Yes.
what she could be.
Being a chameleon.
Yeah. That sort of person doesn't really understand unrewarded altruism.
Yes.
Like, period, at all.
Yes.
And there's no real trial you can put them through that would make them go, oh, giving up my stuff for free with no expectation of reward or positive PR is a good thing for me to do. Like,
Yes.
that's never going to work for them, so just trying to write a story about that's not going to work out. But having them be like, I am a war-traumatized person who has just spent a massive war fighting a shit ton of humans, and now I'm being told aliens are invading. Crab's gun. Cock's gun.
Tanya enters room. Oh, Tanya, where have you been? Moon is haunted. Huh?
Moon's got aliens. What? McDonald's has aliens. What? Cock's gun.
Blue Centaur gave me magic powers. I'm a hawk now.
But no, that's what I'm saying, though. I feel like Tanya getting the Animorph powers would objectively decrease her characterization, because she just becomes another one of the cast who has the ability to turn into an animal, which, let's be clear here, oh, I can turn into an alligator! They have great jaw strength and snapping ability. It's like, okay. He has a gun. He wins. And like,
yeah,
that
like,
was the
I don't know
whole
what
thing.
you would have Tanya turn into, but
Yeah, like, that was the whole thing with Animorphs, is that, yeah, so the kids don't have weapons because this is a children's book, so instead they have superpowers that let them turn into animals to fight the bad guys. Which obviously animals have lots of weapons on them. It's just they're natural weapons and therefore deemed safe, because obviously a kid will never grow claws or fangs to maul people with.
There is a reason that we developed brains instead of claws and teeth.
Well, that reason was because food was getting harder to find.
Yeah, there's that, but also the fact that we picked up a tool and went, hey, I can hit something with this stick and then eat it, and it's super easy.
Well, it's
bro,
more...
it didn't start with sticks. It started with a vaguely pointy rock.
Well, not even a vaguely pointy rock. It was just rock.
Just a rock.
Yeah, fair.
Well, so the
Me
thing is,
looking at
it's
rocks,
we can actually
yes.
see the development sort of with monkeys in the whole tool usage, is that the foods that were harder to get at, like hard-shelled nuts and other such things, the monkeys would take a rock and bang the rock on it to get the food. And obviously, once you make the connection of rock break hard thing, well,
Skulls are hard.
deer skull hard thing, have rock, break hard thing, have deer. And evolution was like, hey, you mean to tell me that you don't have to waste resources on making claws and fangs, and you can just pick up objects and throw them at things? That sounds like a way better use of resources.
The brain development that went into humans being able to pick up and throw things, just
The muscle development.
innately.
Yeah, well,
Not
well,
just
the
muscles,
innate,
but brains and everything else.
that's more of like a velocity projection. Yes, which is very
You're
impressive, don't get me
doing
wrong.
calculations in your head that
Oh, it was crazy.
that
No,
we're
don't get me wrong, yeah.
struggling with computers.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
No, it's definitely 100% crazy. But if you ever look at the human's back musculature, we have like one of the most overdeveloped backs because we also have like some of the craziest fucking throwing speeds. Like monkeys are strong, gorillas even stronger than humans, but they can't even throw a fraction of the speed we can because of how our back is built.
And then there's the fact that we can walk or run pretty much forever.
Which also keep in mind, a human can throw a 5-pound object at 100 miles per hour accurately.
And it don't take that much to kill something.
Which turns out that 500 pounds of force is it's a lot of fucking force being concentrated on a small section of your body.
Most things aren't built to survive that.
No, they are not. It turns out if you miss, you just pick up another rock. Which is...
I could do this all day.
Literally.
Listen. Again, one of the most popular and enduring weapons that humans possess. I took some stretchy fabric. I put a rock in it. This let me throw rock farther.
Yeah, slingshots are fucking silly as well.
Ah, yes, the sling.
Yeah.
Well, you see, I've got these spears I want to throw, but I want to throw them further. How do we do that? Well, we also got this sling that throws rocks further. Let's apply the concept to this, and thus we get the the addle?
Yeah. The thing that you load the spear into to make it go farther. Yeah.
It's so dumb. Like,
Eater.
the fact that it works is so dumb, and it looks so dumb, and I love it.
That's great. I love it as well. Yeah. Funny thing though, as well, is Homo sapien, not Neanderthal, was the one that invented bow and arrow. Neanderthal, around the time of the invention of bow and arrow, were still only at the rock stage. Because, Homo sapien was also like fucking 4 foot tall and didn't really have a lot going for it. So they figured out how to make the pointy rock go farther.
Gee, I wonder why the Neanderthals are all gone.
Well, that one's actually also pretty easy to say. Is we fucked them a bunch, and both in the military sense and in the sexual sense. But also we fucked them in the food sense, because Neanderthals had a heavy meat diet, and Homo sapiens kind of shoved whatever was possible into their mouth. And so, because we had a larger selection of food, we could just make more Homo sapiens.
We outbred them and outcompeted them.
Yeah. And then we did that like 7 more times to every other species of human.
It was very funny.
Yes.
Well, most other species.
Only like 2 in human history actually died off without intervention from Homo sapien. Because they were precursors.
I think there are about 3 surviving groups of non-Neanderthal mixes.
Yeah, there's Neanderthal, there's Denisovian, Homo sapien, and there's another one I'm forgetting. But no, it's like, but they aren't distinct groups aside from one of them. They are a majority mix across the board, that are all fairly close in terms of genetic range, besides one of them linked together. And yes, that one that is not like the others would be considered a separate species by any other argument besides political. But we don't say that because it's politically incorrect now.
I thought that one group in Australia was also cut off.
Yes, but they ended up actually sharing, which is, again, this is a very weird thing. So we actually have proof the Egyptians went to Australia.
Huh?
Yeah.
This.
Yeah. No, they found a tomb to an Egyptian pharaoh that died while he was in Australia.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, how? What?
yeah. And then when his people got back, then they built a giant crypt for him. But yeah, his body was actually interred in a tomb in Australia.
Okay, the Egyptians went everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have proof that the Aztecs knew the Chinese.
Huh.
I feel like I should know this one.
Yeah, they found a jade statue from the Xing dynasty or something like that.
Also,
Yeah,
Sneaky,
they use a lot of the same symbology.
Yeah.
Sneaky, I've discovered the fact that someone has made the Commissar Bravo meme, and my life is now enriched.
The what now? Link?
Memes and shitpost.
Okay. What kind of act of sluttery is this? Gene does not approve of this unholy act. Mother Nature, you can't fit all 4 seasons into one state. Florida, hold my beer. True.
Yes, Florida is in fact a
You
terrible
win
place.
Florida.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations, it is now winter.
I
But it
don't-
was like 90 degrees 2 seconds ago.
This is clearly AI art because I don't know what the fuck is going on with that weapon. That's some
Neither do
chaos
I.
warp fuckery going on with that.
I have no idea what's going on there either. However, the bottom one. Hello, Inquisition. There's a handsome devil in my house. Wait a sec, cancel that. Only me.
Yes.
It cuts off the bottom of the image.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What the fuck? Is that Naruto? Is that Boruto?
What?
Huh? Where?
What the fuck got posted in gaming?
What?
Anyway, back to Tanya and Animorphs. I don't think it works as well if you give Tanya Animorph powers, because it just puts Tanya on the same fucking playing field as all the kids. And if you give Tanya Animorph powers and then make her use a gun and shit, well, why did you give Tanya Animorph powers? By the main cast after she got yerked would be a pretty decent one. Like, they see her and she's like alone or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, they kidnap her and the yerk crawls out and dies, and she's like, oh, fuck. Okay. Though, I will say, I do feel like Tanya, who had a battle of wills with God, or the closest equivalent, and won. I feel like anything besides like a Yerk commander would not be able to hold her down.
Oh, definitely
Yeah,
not.
she'd give him a hard time.
And no, this is a canonical thing, by the way, is that people with strong enough wills in the Animorph universe can just fucking be like, you're taking over my mind by wrapping around my neurons? Like, fuck you are. Stay wrapped, bitch. I'm not gonna be a bitch to you. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, just get a strong enough
Interesting
will.
proposal. Perish.
Just be an anime protagonist. Don't worry about it.
Hey, listen. It worked in Parasite.
Alternatively, be the protagonist's mentor.
Yes.
You're gonna take over my brain by wrapping around it? Start strangling self. I've spent years preparing for this day.
Oh no.
That's a suicide joke, not wherever signs mine
Mm.
went.
That.
Ah! Admiral, man. Ah.
Listen, just because sign is here does not make everything horny.
I'm not even gonna touch that one.
He said it.
You
I'm just
may have
pointing it
taken
out.
over my mind, but what are you gonna do about the bombs? What bombs? No, really, what bombs?
The bombs.
Did
That's for you to
Was there
find
ever-
out.
were there ever any instances where the Yerk takes over a being and it's like, okay, cool, so you got me. What about the split personality I kept locked away?
I think there was an issue. I think there was an issue of Deadpool that actually looked into that.
What the fuck? Yeah, bro, I'm
Yeah.
gonna need a fucking source on that isn't I had a dream.
What? It was like
I-
Deadpool and Ghost Rider.
Fight the Yerks?
What?
I'm
No, I was
sorry.
saying like
I
the
want-
split personality.
No, I want to see Marvel crossed over with Animorphs now.
I didn't say anything about her.
Oh,
What the fuck?
oh,
What?
No.
Bro, are you fucking smoking? We are literally talking about
You
Yerks
were
and
just
you're like,
talking about
but
like
what
the
about Deadpool? It's like,
No, you were saying like, oh, the split. Like, did you forget about the split personality when you possessed me? And I was just like, I think there was an issue of Deadpool that
Yes.
was talking about the whole
Yeah,
possession.
that
because
has
we were
nothing to do
talking
with
about
Animorphs.
Yerks and you're just like, but what about Deadpool?
Okay, yeah, I was talking about something. I was talking about the subject.
Yeah, okay,
not
Mr.
the-
Autismo, I'm gonna need you to fucking turn your ears on.
No.
Anyway, so about Yerks, it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
only a mere 20 years since I last read the series.
Yeah, that's
Course of
fair.
Ages.
But I feel like that's something that would have really stuck out.
I feel like it could have, but also at the same time, you gotta keep in mind this is a child's story. So, despite some of the fucking wild shit that happens in the story, like every single kid having a midlife crisis, every single book of what happens if I get stuck as my aunt's chihuahua for the rest of my life because I wasn't able to escape in time, or I'm a hawk now.
I mean,
Just transform.
Well, see, that's the whole thing, is the Yerks, because the kids always engage the Yerks using their animal forms, the Yerks were never able to track down the humans because they were still in the undercover phase of infiltrating humanity. So they couldn't have, like, spaceships, like, scanning them and shit. So when the kids used their animal forms, they were able to attack and get away, and every single book would have this dilemma where one of them would pick an animal form that sounded like a good idea, and then they realized that actually it was a fucking terrible idea because you know, now they're stuck in a position where if they transform back, they might get, like, spotted by the Yerks, would then trace back to their family. And because the Yerks are doing the thing that they did in Host, where they, you know, go around and they're, like, taking over teachers and they're taking over police officers and all the positions of power effectively, they would instantly get their family found out, kidnapped, taken over, and then they would have to fight their family.
Anybody could be one, including your own family.
Yeah.
Yep, that actually did happen.
Yes.
Someone's mother,
And brother.
got taken over because they were in high-level positions for where they
Oh.
were.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the mother got taken over because she was in a high-level position, and the brother got taken over because they actually did trace Jake one time, and they captured his brother.
Yeah, Jake, the most careful one of them was the one that was tracked. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Not Tobias, not the dumbass who consistently fucks things up.
Yeah.
No, it's Jake.
Carlos!
I remember that
Oh, God,
being
the
an
names are
important
coming back
thing.
to me.
Yeah,
Rachel, Cassie, Carlos, Tobias, Jake.
Oh man, Sneaky. Do you remember the book?
Core
Where they
memory
sat-
unlocked!
They sat Jake down and they're like, bro, you can't keep doing these 10-minute power naps every 2 hours. It's not healthy. It's
Yeah.
affecting how you go. You're looking real bad, man. Go get some sleep. It's like, nah, I'm good. 10 minutes every 2 hours. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Sir,
It's
sir,
been
you
3
will
weeks.
die.
Stop.
You actually
been 2
won't
weeks, Jake.
die. It's just you'll get really fucked up.
No, you can
And he
100%
did.
die from
You'll
sleep
die.
deprivation.
You'll have a heart
He
attack.
did get fucked up.
No, because there's an actual sleep schedule, air quotes, that does do the whole like 10 minutes every 2 hours thing. And it's supposed
Yeah,
to
but
add more time to your day.
it requires a very stringent schedule that people are usually in not financial positions to be able to
Yeah,
achieve.
exactly, yeah.
It was just like the Iron Man sleep schedule. It was developed by
Yeah.
some guys in college. Like, how are we supposed to do this? Like, you plan your classes around it. It's like, I can't do that. And then you realize it was made by two silver spooners who had ridiculous degrees of freedom over their class schedules.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's just like I feel like you could a good way to do it would be to include Tanya into the main cast through her getting captured, because she doesn't know, because I mean everyone's acting normal because they have full access to the person they're inhabiting's memories and personality. So how the fuck would she know the difference? And then she gets fucking kidnapped because, I don't know, you could make her like the daughter of the mayor or something.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then, you know, she gets rescued by the Animorphs because, like, she goes to their school or something, and a bunch of teenagers saw a kid from their school get kidnapped, and they're like, oh, we gotta save him. And so they do that. And then you could sort of have this, like, ongoing drama conflict between Tanya wanting to, you know, get serious against the Yeerks, but these kids are also fucking getting involved left and right, and the kids also won't listen to her because A, she's the same age as them and or younger, and they have been, air quotes, successfully doing it for a while, you know, by kid standards, so they're not going to listen to her.
We know what we're doing. You should follow us instead.
Yeah, effectively. And oh, you don't have the Animorph powers. You can get tracked down. I feel like you could write a fairly interesting. I'm going to say it's like maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10 story. I don't really think you can really write anything higher than a middling story.
To be honest, from what little I understand of Tanya just through this podcast at this point, it should be maybe a 2-chapter stomp fest.
Oh yeah, sure. If she has fucking magic, it just turns into fucking Doomslayer mode, and just like fucking the music kicks in.
Yeah, like we will now be invading your brain, and it's like, oh, okay, so the gloves are off. Awesome. Glad to know where we stand.
Violence.
Tanya blasts someone away, picks up gun. Excuse me, gentlemen. I can't help but notice you don't have any passports.
I can't help but notice you're on my goddamn dirt.
But no, probably one of the better lines they use would be her passports variation.
Oh yes. Passports was funny.
And then have her just completely raffle stomp them with fucking magic and shit, and kind of just end it there, call it a day. Be like, yeah, she went on to fight more, and, you know, eventually, like, she saved Earth or some shit, whatever, shrugged shoulders. Because
eventually, the aliens said, nah, fuck this, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to really write an extended story with Tanya having magic, because it sort of gets into the opposite position in where she's too powerful, but at the same time not powerful enough to actually do anything against the galaxy-spanning empire.
But she could get them off of Earth.
Yeah.
definitely
Eventually.
enough to be like, do not touch this rock if you don't want any more trouble. But that's probably about it.
Yeah.
Sneaky, I have a question
Yeah.
for you. A really interesting memory just unlocked for me. It
Okay.
was one of the Animorph like prequel books,
Right.
and it followed a being who evolved so hard he turned into a spaceship.
Yes.
What do you
Do you-
mean? Yes.
Yeah. I remember that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Dude went from like a frail, lanky, the wind blew on you, your arms would snap being and just transformed into a space. I'm glad I'm not crazy.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That author was on something.
Yes. Yes, they were. Who was that
Yes.
author?
I don't know. Honestly, as an adult now, I look back, I'm like, were they okay?
Ah. Ah.
What do you got for me, Sneaky?
It was written by a husband and wife pair, Catherine and Michael Grant Applegate, under the name of K.A. Applegate.
Didn't they write the one with the kids getting transported to the alien world?
Yeah, that was Animorphs. Yeah.
Not Morphs.
Mm,
The fantasy type world.
mm.
You're gonna have to narrow that one down then, buddy. Jake Marco, my bad. I thought Carlos Marco. He was Spanish. Cassie, Rachel, Tobias. So I only got one of them wrong. And, right. Aximili Askarov Ishtathil.
Oh, I remember. Axe was like the coolest member of that cast.
Yes.
Because he was just trying to fit in. It's like, I don't understand human customs. Please help. Actually, yeah, no, didn't Cassie have a major crush on the alien?
Yes. Because, she had a crush on Jake, but then when the alien finally got a human body, he used, like, Jake, Marco, and Tobias as a mixture to create an original human guy.
Oh.
Original human, do not steal!
Yeah, by the way, just casually revealing, by the way, that, I think he was an Andalite. It's like, oh yeah, the Andalites are able to just mix and match the
Oh,
DNA.
yeah, no, the Andalites were, like, super god tier in terms of the biomorphing.
Yeah, which, I mean, makes sense. It's literally part of their evolution. Of course they'd master it to that degree. Oh my god, is that just a stack of animals?
She's still writing? Oh
What
yeah,
is
you
she
were probably
writing?
reading the Megamorph series.
The what?
The Megamorph. There's two side series. One's called Megamorph and one's called Alternamorph.
I don't understand why.
Oh shit, Visor. I remember that one.
Oh wait, is that the ship one?
No, Visor's the one that Visor is the guy that successfully he's the Yerk that successfully took over a Andalite, and he was so successful that he was like named the command class. Like his name became the name for people that lead.
Which one was the ship one then?
Which, by the way, this is what Andalites look like, which is what I'm talking about. Fucking centaur ass, female
With the
fantasy
scorpion-
shit.
with the scorpion tail.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, haven't I seen you as a Dark Souls boss?
No, that's
You
just
know
the
what?
Displacer Beast.
I would actually love to see one of these in the Elden Ring DLC now. I think that makes for a sick
Yeah,
boss.
this is a
That'd be
Displacer
awesome,
Beast.
actually.
They also wrote Remnant. Remnant is a science fiction story published between 2001 and 2003, detailing what happens to survivors of a desperate mission to save a handful of humans after asteroids collide with Earth. The asteroid's called The Rock.
Chronicles. That's what it was.
Sentient space. Oh yeah, no. Here, this is what you're talking about. Remnants. Yeah, picked up by a large sentient spacecraft known as Mother.
Oh. Oh dear. Is that what you read, son?
I think Sign died. Now that we've started
Rest in
talking
peace.
about things that happened
What's up?
20 plus years ago.
I took my headset off for a minute. What did I miss?
Making Out, a young adult series. The series was formerly known as Boyfriend Girlfriend. The first 8 books were republished in 2015 as The Islanders. The books focused on the teenagers living on Chatham Island, a fictional island off the coast of Maine. The books deal with
That... Go ahead.
Yeah, the books deal with difficult topics such as the death of a parent, sexual child abuse, divorce, disability, drugs, alcohol, and the effect of such things on someone's life, following the kids from their senior year in high school to college.
I don't know. That sounds kind of squicky with a title like Making Out.
Yeah.
Well, it's making
Just a
out
bit.
and it's labeled as young adult romance. So it's both making out as in it's the drama of growing up as a teenager with issues, and you're making it out of the area. You're getting your life back on track, but it's also making
get the
out
reference,
because you're
but it's
fucking
also-
face macking.
Yeah, that.
There's 29 books, so I mean, goddamn, they fucking wrote a shit ton. Holy shit, Sign. They have as many completed books as you have open ideas.
Ooh. 5?
Oh.
Damn, that's.
I mean, they've written a total of, let's see, companion books, 12, 5, 10, another 10, 29, another 10.
Sneaky, I thought we discussed that it
another
was rude to
10,
directly
another
attack the life points
10,
of our guests.
3, 3, 2, another 10.
To be fair, they've been writing for quite some time. Like,
They have been writing
think.
for about as long as Sign has.
So, Sneaky, the Wikipedia used the good old Scholastic cover of the Elemist Chronicles.
Oh, yes.
You see that stamp? Watch Animorphs on TV? I forgot there was a show.
They tried to do a TV show. Yeah,
There was a
that
shitty
was.
show.
They did. I think they got a season, and
Yeah, it
that
was.
was it.
That was back during the era of Secret Life of Alex Mack.
yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm reading through
These
the
fucking
summary, and
covers.
I forgot. This dude on the cover didn't turn into a ship. He eventually evolved into a planet and started sending ships out with fragments of
I'm
his,
sorry, what?
of his brain.
Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
so to
good.
speak.
Good. We're just
Excuse you?
Ego the Living Planet. Got it.
These 3D abomination renders that were the
Oh,
staple.
yeah, those
That's
were.
awful.
Whew.
Yeah, they were adapted to a television series that ran on Nickelodeon, Young Adult TV, and Global Television Network, which ran for one season from 98 to 99.
Of course it was Nickelodeon.
Curse of
wait,
Ages.
wait, what do you
It
mean
was
there was a
Fox.
second season?
No, it
I'm
was
sorry.
one season, wasn't it?
No, it says that there was there was a second season. Season 1 got 20 episodes, season 2 only got 6 and ran from September to October of 1999.
Wow.
Also, yeah,
I gotta go eat dinner and do garbage.
this is a
great.
cast of characters.
Sneaky, one of the episode titles is Face Off.
Oh, good. Jake
Did
is
Nick
the
Cage
leader
guest star?
of the Animorphs. His signature morph
Oh,
is a
he
tiger.
wish.
Despite being a natural leader, he is reluctant to accept the role. The war takes on a deeper meaning when he finds out his older brother has been taken, and is one of the main motivations preventing him from cracking under pressure to fight against the Yeerks. He is the only member of the team to have a relationship with all of the other human members prior to the war. Jake and Rachel are cousins. He and Marco are best friends. He is one of the few people who treated Tobias Tobias with kindness, and he and Cassie always had an attraction to each other. Yep, I was right. Rachel had the most bloodthirsty nature of the group, earning her the nickname Xena the Warrior Princess. Holy shit, I fucking remember that being thrown around so much back then.
God, yeah. Yep, that's coming back too.
Uh,
I only read like 4 of these books too.
Rachel's signature transformations are grizzly bear and elephant.
Woo!
Oh yeah, I'm remembering that now. That girl woke up and chose violence every day.
Rachel 100% woke up and chose violence. Let's see if we can't get a picture of Rachel from Animorphs.
There has to be a picture somewhere.
Can
So
we
you're
get
saying
a?
Rachel and Tanya might actually get along?
Yeah, here's Rachel, according to Nickelodeon.
Wait. That doesn't seem right.
They picked the most bland girl they could.
What about the rest of the cast?
Oh, well, they made Cassie. Yeah, they made Cassie black.
I thought it was the other way in the books.
I thought it was too, but
Okay, I'm glad that we're both having the same memory and wondering why there was a race swap between the 2 characters.
Which one did you say
Oh
was
my
the main guy's love interest?
oh no, that was from
what?
Megamorph. No, that was No, yeah, no, that was the original. I guess we were just remembering it wrong. Yeah, that's Cassie. That's Rachel. That's Cassie. Cassie's the
Oh, okay.
save everyone.
I'm feeling real bad for Axe there.
Yeah.
That is not a flattering render.
No. Yeah. This is the original one of the original pictures they used. Yeah.
Sneaky, maybe we just got Mandela affected again.
And maybe we did. Who knows? Either way, here's the. You can tell how 90s this cast was.
Yeah, it bleeds through so hard.
It is exceedingly 90s.
Wow.
This cast is exceedingly 90s.
Oh, what is that on the right? Oh, that is horrible.
That's Axe, the alien.
That's a vagina on his face.
That's a blue centaur, and you will respect his female fantasies.
I don't know if I want to.
No.
Oh yeah, this is what the official Yerk picture was.
Oh no.
That's a Yerk
Oh,
pool.
right. Weird slug caterpillar things.
And here were the tree people known as the Hork-Pajar.
That just sounds like something that a fucking failed writer would write as microfiction.
You know
for
what
their
those look like, Sneaky?
Wookiees that were reptiles?
It looks like a child's attempt at a Gen 3 custom Pokemon.
Oh, you know what it was? Yeah, Tobias did regain the ability to turn into any animal, I think. But he could never return to being Tobias because there wasn't any DNA for him to copy.
Yeah, he could... No, I think he could transform to himself, but it would never stick. I think at some point he regained the ability to be Tobias, but like it wouldn't stick anymore.
Like
his body was like, this is not your default anymore. What are you doing?
Jesus Christ.
Transformed too much.
Early life, pre-Animorph life, becoming Animorph life as a hawk, living in Jake's attic.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Suicide attempt. Suicide attempt part 2. Then regained his morphing ability. Acquiring a human copy of himself from an alternative reality.
Oh my god, they did dimension hopping in this series.
Yeah. And then he went back in time and got dinosaur powers.
Because that'll help our story. Time travel.
Part
think-
1.12, killing Hitler.
You fucking what?
Huh? Oh, okay. If the authors went there,
They killed Hitler.
Yeah.
you
Here's
know
the
what?
order of operations. Time when he went back in time to dinosaurs. He went back in time. He killed dinosaurs. Debacles. Hork-Pajar stories. He got stuck with his family one day. He went on an additional operation. He then killed Hitler. He went back to having relationship troubles with Rachel. Then he got tortured. Future missions. Reunited with the person who tortured him. Morphing into a woman. Continued campaigns. Endgame. Meeting his mother. The destruction of the Yerk pool. The death of Rachel.
The what?
The death of Rachel.
Oh, that's an interesting spoiler.
I told you they died.
No, I will give the author this. The kids took a moment after going back far enough to get dinosaur DNA, like, hey, do you think we could do something about history's greatest monster? Just pop them back
Mao?
for like, I don't know, 5 minutes?
Stalin, Mao.
Well,
Uh,
the most politically correct greatest monster.
I mean, Stalin's pretty politically correct at this point.
Well, these days. Back then, not so much.
I'm sorry, you guys are gonna need to help me. Didn't Stalin happen after Hitler?
Oh no, Stalin was genociding people while Hitler was genociding people. They were co-genociding.
At the same time.
Yeah.
They were co-genociding too.
But
And then there
wasn't
was the
he
Holodomor.
inspired by Hitler's?
No,
No.
he's
Oh,
actually
no.
doing it before Hitler.
He was doing it all
Oh,
on his own.
Hitler even sent missives to Stalin saying, hey, I see you're genociding a bunch of people. Let's share this section of land and you can genocide that half and we'll genocide this half.
Okay, so we'll go back and take care of history's greatest monster, and then we'll get the other one that he was sucking
Monsters,
pals with.
Mao.
Shall we go
Pol
destroy
Pot.
history's most monstrous pen pals?
Stalin. Che Guevara. Yeah, I already said Pol Pot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this is a fucking timeline. It's like meeting his mother, killing Hitler, having relationship troubles with Rachel. It's like fucking what? What was
I'm
that?
gonna be honest. I first realized this with the likes of the big Shonen 3,
Yeah.
and when I look at some of the longer running Western novels, I'm like, wow, this really keeps getting concrete. It like really gets cemented more and more in reality. You need to not run series for this long. Not continuously, at least.
Or else you have a
It
killing
gets-
Hitler moment.
It just gets messy. Sneaky, look at how long the table of contents are for this one character.
Yeah.
It doesn't even fit on the screen. You have to scroll
Yeah.
for the table of contents for this one character.
Yeah. Early life, killing Hitler.
Or if you're gonna do something,
Middle.
can he put that on his resume?
Maybe.
Middle life, killing Stalin.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think that'd be hilarious. Like it says here, you killed Hitler. Who's Hitler? What do
That's
you mean?
right. Yeah,
Who is he, and
Rachel.
why did you kill him?
Rachel at some point developed a morphing allergy, which turned her into a crocodile in her own house.
Why is one of those sections saying crocodile birth?
And then she gave birth to crocodiles? What the fuck?
What?
Excuse you?
To be added. Bruh.
What do you mean to be added?
You can't
What the
just
fuck
slap
do
us
you
with
mean?
that.
You can't. No, you really can't.
divisive personality, endgame, death, legacy, the Rachel. What the fuck do you mean, the Rachel?
You need to click on that.
Oh, they named a ship after her.
Oh.
Posthumously, I'm guessing.
Well, yes, because she's fucking
Yeah.
dead.
Because this is 12 years after, apparently.
During the final battle against the Yeerks, Jake orders Rachel to follow Tom's Yeerk and kill him when he gives the order. Following him on board the Blade ship, Rachel attacks the Yeerks and controls the ship and kills Tom before dying at the hands of a controller in a polar bear morph shortly after. The Elements briefly stops time to memorialize her death, tell her his story, and then she dies. Bro!
Oh, okay.
What?
So Rachel was the one he was telling his life story to in his book.
Yes.
Wow.
So this girl sacrifices herself to kill a really big shot. And
Yeah.
this dude stops time to be like, hey, you're dying, so I want you to know my life story. Tells
should
her
be
his
noted-
entire life story, and then goes, okay, you can go back to dying now.
It should be noted, by the way, the Elemist is regarded and confirmed canonically to be able to twist the fabric of space and time.
Yeah.
So instead of helping
That
her,
sounds so dumb.
he's
Yeah.
just like, you're fine.
You chose this. This is your legacy.
It's like, oh god. I mean, I'll give him this. I guess I wouldn't. Here's the thing: if you're gonna have the nigh immortal being not give a shit, you should really stick to that.
Meh.
You need to commit fully to that instead of half-assing it. Like, I will memorialize your death by stretching this moment out for an infinitesimal amount of time while I tell you my life story. That
Also, holy
probably
shit.
took a few years to tell her, by the way.
Rachel going absolutely fucking hardcore with this death quote. We were so close. We were right there, right at the finish line. I had survived so many times when I shouldn't have, and it seemed unfair to come this far, to get this close. But Jake gave me the job because he knew only I could do it. I'm the one you send when you need someone to be crazy, to do the hard thing. And I don't know if I'm proud of that or not. But I was Jake's insurance policy. He thought maybe he wouldn't have to use me. He hoped, anyway. But deep down, he knew. I knew. And we both hid the truth from the others. Because Cassie wouldn't let Jake make that decision. And Tobias wouldn't let me make that decision. And those two, through loving us, would have screwed everything up. Because it was a war, and we had to win.
Damn.
Damn.
Fair.
That's up there with the really good quotes. God damn.
That's her fucking death quote.
Why is this in an
That's
animal book?
a Carter out tier quote. God damn. God damn. That's a I've
Animal.
got the mask out of shit.
All right,
Holy
know what?
fuck.
I legitimately want to see this. I want to see this wife-husband author combo handle something a bit more mature, just to see what they crank out quote-wise, because that's really solid. Why is that in an Animorphs book?
I feel like that's something someone says when they're flying off to like crash something into a meteor or something to stop it from hitting Earth or some shit.
Just before Freebird starts playing.
Yeah,
No,
basically.
it's like there's some like piano shit.
Well, you
playing
gotta
when-
keep in mind, this is what she said. This was her internal narrative before she jumps out and attacks like the fucking head Yeerk on the ship and just goes absolutely apeshit, killing people left and right as the fucking ship gets like turned into a battlefield before she's finally killed by some dude turning into
Yeah.
a polar bear. Like, yeah,
I'm-
that's absolute Freebird moment.
I kind of want to track down the book that happens in and see if someone has made some sort of awful fan animation or comic of that moment.
Probably.
'Cause, like, you do the quote and the slow build up to the solo, elevator door opens and the solo fully kicks in.
Yeah, basically. But goddamn, it's just like, pfft. What a fucking death quote.
I feel like that if that was like in a show, they'd do like her theme
Not even.
really slowed down and on piano, and then it just cuts to the fight and then cuts away. Like,
Arlie, for not
bro,
even
she's
10
dead.
minutes to get dinner. What the fuck is this?
Rachel has an absolutely hardcore death quote before she went in and 1v'd an entire ship.
It's better than Carter's.
No, it's really not.
No, not that bad.
No.
No.
But what did
It's
you say?
good.
And God,
Alright,
this
it's a-
list of aliases is such a fucking 90s. Miss Fashion, Miss Properly Applied Makeup, Miss Has It All Looks and Brains, Storm, Xena Warrior Princess, Xena, Mighty Xena, The Psycho, Gorgeous Warmonger, Rachel of the Dark Heart, Goddess of War, and the Forgotten Animorph.
What the actual shit?
Goddamn.
90s.
Very 90s.
This is her fucking synopsis! Again, keep in mind, this is a child series sold to children grades 1 through 5. Rachel is a founding member of the Animorphs and was known for her bold, aggressive, and reckless nature. Due to her ruthless demeanor, she was often used by the Animorphs to commit murder.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Oh, Sneaky. I think I'm remembering another memory where they're like, all right, Rachel, you're going to be the assassin.
Yeah.
No one can know you were there. And she accomplished this by doing the sneaky method of no one can raise the alarm if no one's alive.
Yes, she killed
Razor
everyone.
Mind starts playing.
Yeah, quite literally. Also, I believe she killed someone by being an ant and crawling in their ear and then de-transforming.
That's metal as
Oh.
fuck.
Yeah, like I said, for
You know,
a
in
child's
retrospect-
book.
In retrospect, Rachel may have been
A bit
a
of
bit
a
sociopathic.
Maybe.
just a little
Maybe.
bit.
Like,
A
I
bit?
can't call her psychopathic because she clearly had emotions and clearly experienced them, but she definitely dealt with them in a way that was not consistent with most humans.
Also, this fucking wild line. She is the only core Animorph to permanently die during the Yeerk War. What do you mean, permanently die?
You know what? I bet the Elemist was willing to help everyone else, and it was only her. He's like, nah, you know what? No. I told you my
Wait.
life story. What more do you want?
Wait, what the fuck? Died in 1805, resurrected, died in 2000. What? What?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm starting to feel like I might need to read these books or find someone who's got like in-depth clip notes.
Yeah, I'm like,
Also,
I need-
I love that Tobias is just a he's just the hawk
Also, yeah.
on his page.
Also, like, list of aliases: Bird Boy, Red Baron, Hawk Boy, Mouse Eating Bird Boy, Animorph Air Force, Fierce Looking Bird with the Sharp Beak, the Bird of Red Tail, the Time Shifted Sun. What? The Lost Soul with Body of Bird, Super Bird, Mr. Hawk, Flea Bitten Buzzard, the Winged Wonder. This is like such a 90s list of aliases.
no.
He's
You know what some
also
of these sound
called
like?
the Forgotten Animal.
Yeah, he's with
Ooh.
Rachel.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like the 90s trying to name people like they're from the golden age of comics.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance that's what they're aiming for, yeah.
We have to keep in mind the people usually giving these aliases were the kids giving them to each other, and what did they grow up reading?
Shitty 60s comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Um,
If I remember correctly, I think they were all at least like high schoolers when the series started.
I think they were late middle school. Late middle school or early high school. Let's see,
First book was June of 96.
96, so they were 12.
Oh my god, there is There is a listing.
Wait, what
the-
Oh,
There's
he's a
listing
leap
for the
year.
complete 65.
Wait, what? Wait, no,
books.
that doesn't make sense. Wait, Brain, what the fuck are you talking about? Leap year? Leap year babies aren't born 4 years later, Brain.
Brain,
Yeah, they are.
hello?
It's okay, Sneaky. Everyone has those moments.
The Andalite Chronicles reveals that Tobias was actually conceived in 1980. However, the book states that Elphegor met Tobias 21 years later, despite the fact that Tobias is only in middle school at the time. In issue 53, he reveals he was only 13 when he became an Animorph. His mother, Lauren, who had been rapidly aged by the Time Matrix, and then was sent from 1980 to 1983 by the Elements to repair the timeline broken in the previous book. Since she was pregnant at the time, Tobias ended up being born in 1984, thus explaining why he is 13 at the start of the series.
That sounds like a retcon for something they forgot.
It was literally a retcon. Someone pointed it out to them. They said, you're right. So they had the time-traveling planet wizard send his mother into the future to fix the paradox.
You McFucking what?
Don't worry about it.
The Animorph series was on some fucking next-level shit, man.
Don't worry about it. I still remember some of the really weird
Lord.
stories that you used to find like in the local library, and you're just like, what the fuck am I reading?
Tobias speaks to the hawk, unaware that it's his future self.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. I'm trying to figure out where I fucking saw that one picture. Anyway, yeah. So, that was a fucking wild goose chase, gentlemen. Animorphs was some extra drugs. I'm glad we didn't get to any fan fiction tonight, because Jesus Christ, our selection was...
Not great.
It was... There's... Okay, look, I'm just gonna fucking... I'm gonna reopen this tab here, right?
Oh no. No, do not reopen the tab. No.
Do not reopen the tab.
Island of Devils. It's a Attack on Titan AU where the Titans are replaced with devils. And the Parisians believe in flat Earth theory, and they are crafting a magical spell to flatten the Earth.
Okay.
So they admit it's not flat.
Yes.
They believe it's should be flat, obviously.
What if Erwin was Levi's son? There's a song about olive orchards or some blah 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 angst romance garbage ass story, female writer. Frost melts, flowers grow, romance hurt comfort, blondie on the inside, female writer, gay, slow burn, OC fic. Attack on Titan changes. Telling the story has been a healing process of my own therapy. Thank you for sticking around to read my interpretation of Attack on Titan. Okay, I don't even know what this is about then. But it's got 26 chapters and 450k words. Still should probably fix the fact that you don't tell us what your story is about. Attack on Titan AU, where Armin is a violinist who's an insomniac, and then he gets involved with the ballerina known as Mikasa. Yeah.
No.
Obviously AU, female author. Lady Mikasa, An Unexpected Love. A new secret program is introduced to the military. Mikasa is selected a noble it's a smut fic where the special branch of the military is basically loaned out to nobles where they get fucked by the noble. Mikasa times OC self-insert. Levy times Fem OC, written by female author, romance story. I'm totally funny, guys. Believe me, it's a humor story. Levy times reader by female author. Save Me from Demons. Jean times OC, female author.
Okay. Can we just end it? It's 9:43.
Like this is what we have to fucking like. This is what we were gonna be reading tonight. Female author OC. Female author OC. Female author OC. Modern AU. They all go to college. Female author. I don't know what the fuck that's going on right there. Pollen and Poison, romance story, female author. Petra's Guardian Angel, Some Stuff Happens, Aaron times Petra, female author. Attack on Titan, Isekai, Post Rumbling. Some weird shit happens or whatever, and he's gonna become a legend, just you see. It's all fucking garbage. It's all trash.
Endless trash.
Alright. Now that we got that covered, I hope someone learned something from what we were talking about here, and that it was interesting enough to someone. Anyway.
What we've learned is Animorphs was cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you all next time on Friday, because there's always